Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Just Bad Games. This just uploaded today, and we got an hour-long one, so you know a game is bad when they got an hour-long video to it. Anyway, the game today is Skull Island, Rise of Kong. Yeah, it's King Kong. I actually don't remember this game, but like I said, considering the hour length, I guess I got lucky. But might as well see how bad this trip to Skull Island is. So be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's see what went wrong. Oh, there's the game.
Skull Island, Rise of Kong is an action platformer developed by Iguanaby. It was published by Game Mill Entertainment for PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series consoles, and Nintendo Switch in 2023.
Rise of Kong, huh? Like King Kong? That's the
Looks
giant
like it.
that fought Godzilla a few years back.
Right.
And it's this year, too. Oh. And back in 1963, apparently. Ooh.
The magic they can create with CG nowadays.
Dude,
Show
computers.
arrow.
If you're unfamiliar
Monkey
with
butt.
King Kong or his lineage, the creature is the brainchild of filmmaker Miriam C. Cooper, who
Nice,
longed to
Cooper.
tell the story of a great primate menacing the New York City skyline.
And
So
King
in
Kong.
1933, Cooper produced and directed just that. A motion picture called King Kong. In it, a film production crew sets off to the exotic fictional location of Skull Island in an attempt to make an incredible movie not knowing what they'll find.
Long story short, production crew finds a gigantic primate, King Kong.
There he is.
There's some
Scream.
snatching
Yoink.
and searching
Death
and
by
dinosaur
dino.
fights
More screaming.
and bonding.
Ew.
Production crew captures the ape. They pluck him off Skull Island.
And plop him in New York City.
But he escapes.
Uh-oh.
Kong goes up the Empire State Building.
Kong goes down the Empire State Building.
It's
Ow.
a classic.
The original film became a
Classic.
box office success. An impressive feat considering it was released right in the middle of the Great Depression. Its meld of horror, action, drama, and, for its time, cutting-edge effects made it one of the most
Again,
renowned and
1930s, what do you
influential
expect?
movies of, well, ever.
Yep,
Yeah.
notoriety bigger than the beast
Girl, let's
himself.
go to the
Now, the
millions.
Kongster may be infamously remembered for kicking the bucket in his big screen debut,
The airplanes.
Then again, Godzilla
No,
did
no.
too,
It
technically.
wasn't the airplanes.
The beauty
It
killed
was
it.
beauty killed the beast.
but we don't need to tell you that this poor misunderstood giant lives on today.
The already enormous King Kong
Just like
property
Godzilla.
ballooned
He
into
dies
a
almost every other film
multimedia
and,
franchise that flung the Kong name everywhere. Plenty more movies, books, TV shows, comics, merchandise, a freaking
Basically
Broadway
everywhere.
musical.
It can change you forever.
Oh, and more than a few video games. And
King of
by the way,
Atlantis? Really?
Donkey Kong doesn't count.
Sorry, Kong. Sorry, DK. You're no Kong.
But we only care about one of those many games today. Polish those fangs, practice your primal roar. It's time to fire up the Nintendo Switch and play Skull Island, Rise of Kong.
Okay, hold it, stop.
Whoa, we're just getting started. What's
Wow, that's
up?
fast.
You're
What's up?
seeing this, right? The start screen for the freaking game.
Oh, whoa.
Look at it.
Is that it?
Yeesh.
Is it like popping?
Honestly, I
think
don't
so,
know what
too,
you
and I
call
think I saw it
this.
over there with
Looking closely
Kong,
at
too.
the foliage and background assets, there is definitely a problem here. Things are flaring and resetting every few seconds.
Heck, even when you press A to play, we're hit with other asset problems. Watch the yellow highlight as I bounce between menu options here. Kind of funky to the eye, right? Slow
Yeah.
it down a little bit, and you clearly see frames of this animation are incorrectly placed.
Ouch. Lack of attention to
Oopsie.
detail this glaring, and we haven't even started level 1.
Well, no backing down.
Yeah, literally. I mean, sheesh. I didn't even get that part. Like, it's literally on the screen. And, well, looking at it, like, well, I'm just gonna show it to you guys. I mean, graphically wise, yeah, it doesn't look that great. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and it's just like, yeah, I'm not too sure we're in for a fun time. I mean, that's just graphically wise. Gameplay wise, I mean, action platformer. Italy. Well, let's see how this goes for him. Good luck, Kong. Let's just hope you'll be fine. Let's just see what happened.
We got a job to do. We're going in.
We start a new game and get a healthy chunk of Kong lore.
There are stories of gods told by fanatics. Stories of kings told by the oppressed.
The narration and cave drawings do a cheap but commendable job telling us about the colossal ape species that happens to live on Skull Island.
Seems they fought for
Kongs.
generations to survive amongst the land's other inhospitable beasts.
Thinned out and nearing annihilation, eventually only one Kong family remains on Skull Island.
The game loads up and we're
Kong
ready
origin.
to...
Oh. Good lord.
Okay, the game loads up and we're ready to king our best Kong.
And apparently, our
Jesus.
best Kong is a character and world cobbled together with real muddy visuals. These textures,
no
even by
kidding, that
Switch
looks
standards,
bad.
ain't good. Kong is less covered in gorilla fur and more wrapped in veiny carved flesh.
Gross! We start dabbling with the camera controls and... Oh, anyone
Ah!
else feel that earthquake?
The camera in this game doesn't really play nice with in-world objects. You don't have to
Apparently
explore
not.
much to see it happen. When it collides with anything in this cave, we get serious judder.
Well then, I say we ditch the cave and head on out. Whoa, you kidding me? We got levitation over here.
3 steps in, and we're witnessing a miracle, people.
Flying gorilla!
We've got to take this Kong out for a spin. How's everything controlling so far?
Takey? That looks so stiff.
We got a standard run that feels oddly slower than the animation implies, but no worries, Kong can sprint around too.
There you go.
But check this out. If you really want to dial down the speed, this is what happens when you barely nudge the stick.
Are you kidding me? A bare nudge?
We're speedless.
And
Yep.
speechless.
Oh, look at that. We got a little head bob going on too.
Weirdest Running ever, I guess.
Let's see what else this game's got up its sleeve here. We got your
Wait.
garden variety basic attacks. Oh, but check this special move out.
A
You
rock
can
throw.
scoop up chunks of earth and hurl them around. Neato.
Nice. Then there's this mean-looking powered-up backhand swipe, an attack animation that's capped with the Kongster... tossing a handful of invisible trail mix in his mouth? Not
I don't
really
know.
sure what's going on here.
We can also perform Kong's iconic shout chest thump thingy. Cool. Seems to fill up this Kong head meter in the corner.
Yeah, what
Not
is
sure
that?
what that's all about yet, but I bet we'll find out later. Let's hunt down some chump enemies to thrash.
We head out, looking for
Is that
foes to
like a
work over
power-up?
with our Kongly fists.
And we're hit with a cutscene.
God damn it.
Storms are a bad omen in times of crisis. And the
Who's telling this
Kongs
story?
do it well.
Night storms!
Night storms.
Don't get us started on night storms. They're the worst. So ominous and bright and rainless. Really nice looking
Does
outside.
someone pick up
Kind of
rain
just a
clouds?
regular day,
Yeah,
isn't
kinda
it?
is, isn't it?
It's just
Yeah.
kind of a regular day.
The father
Uh-huh.
and the son had yet to return from hunting.
Wait,
we're
that's the
playing
mama?
Kong.
Mama Kong. Oh.
She
Yikes.
seems nice.
Suddenly, after a text box pops up to further
Oh.
enhance our gameplay, our first
Jesus
enemies
Christ.
emerge. The deadly Hoposaurus. They bite, sure, but they're pretty cute.
This Hoposaurus is a Stoposaurus. I'll just get a little closer and see if we could...
It looks like we can lock onto enemies for combat, but it's not necessary. You can just spam the attack button until these critters stop moving and pop right out of existence.
Oh,
We
bye.
then get to this weird wall that sports a glowing red shimmer. This can't be taken out with any
So-
kind of regular attack. Mama Kong's gotta use her head. Literally.
Boom.
Not a whole lot going on in the beginning of the game in terms of
pretty
fun or
barren.
excitement. A lot of open spaces funnel you through poorly rendered mountains. Every now and then, waves of easily smackable foes pop up.
Bonk.
Near death, some of them glow red. This means you can hit a button and activate a killer finishing move.
Cool.
Ooh.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Really?
Really, the most interesting thing about this place so far is the bizarre design choices and real glaring issues. Like this mystical aquatic glitch discoloration thing that only seems to pop up when Mama Kong enters water. It's so distracting. What's even happening here?
Speaking
Yeah, me.
of H2 woes, it doesn't
what
take
the-
long for us to find a waterfall nearby that doesn't
Frozen in
seem
time,
to make
apparently.
water Fall? Sure, you got your water splash part down here. Primo splashing, but they're missing the whole water tumble down part. That's
Ladies and
an
gentlemen,
important
switch
part.
shovelware, I guess.
This underwaterfall. Waterfall up underwater. Up, stupid human.
Thanks, Con. Clearly, we're not accustomed to the
Yeah,
wonders of Skull
whatever, buddy.
Island. How about we head over this way? Oh, look, a vine-covered rock formation. I wonder what that could mean.
To climb, you should only approach climbable branches. Well, if there's one
Climbable
thing we know the
branches?
Kong family is good at, it's climbing stuff. Not staying on the stuff after they climbed it, but they can climb really well.
Wait, what? That's not right.
Yeah, let's try that again.
Okay.
No, that's not
Seriously?
how climbing works.
We tried this more than a couple of times.
there an air wall
and
there?
I'd be lying if I didn't say we kinda got a kick out of it.
Slow climb.
Slow climb.
Continuing the
Yeah,
tutorial,
this
we
is
stop
fun.
mid-jog to learn about our special bar. That's the red bar in the top left of the screen. It apparently allows us to use cool
Certain
skills in battle
skills
and can be
cost
filled
you
up
status
again by
meter.
landing
All right.
regular attacks. A tool to help us vary up offensive tactics. Got it.
What we don't grasp? Why this
Okay.
info is accompanied by a stretched postage stamp of video that has about as many frames as Skull Island has Kongs.
Jeez, my eyes.
Folks, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but a lot of things in this game seem to be very buggy. Eventually, we come to a clearing with glaring invisible walls. Come on, it's basically wide
Yeah,
open
right
here.
there.
Let
Come
us
on.
through.
Enemies in this area seem less interested in attacking and more interested in playing a few rounds of peekaboo.
Kong turn away. Kong turn back. No see dinos. Hey there, map. Gorilla say bye. Turn around. Hi.
We also noticed something else here, thanks to the gaping invisible wall section acting as a kind
Literally.
of window to the valley below.
It seems every time we make Kong shout, these white squiggly fireworks blast off in the distance.
What the?
Cool! What the heck are
What is
those
that?
things supposed to represent?
No idea. Game didn't
Enemies?
say. They're a bit too prominent to write
there's
off as
nothing
some kind
there
of
for I
visual
can tell.
mistake, though, right?
They've got to be used for something. Maybe they're not working as intended?
Oh, things not working as they're supposed to be working in Skull Island Rise of Kong? Sir, staggering accusations.
Kong go left. Dinos do too. Kong go right. So does my crew. Back over here. Dinos appear.
The game tells us about another ability called
The Primal Rage?
This drains the Kong head meter in the corner and allows your attacks to hit harder for a short period of time.
Oh, look, another shiny red wall. Mama Kong's got to use her head to break through, right?
Right, I mean, you can if you want, or you
Wait,
can
what?
take this detour over here, hop on this little hill nearby, and leisurely stroll past the gate completely.
Wow. Wow.
Wow, that's an oversight.
Just about
Pretty much.
everywhere you look in this game, you'll notice a glaring lack of polish. We don't really need to go
Oof.
out of our way to do some pretty bizarre things.
Okay.
Next, we come to a red shimmering floor similar to that wall gating we just easily walked around. The game wants us to bash through the ground this time. Sure, why not?
Oh, there you go.
This brings us to a space where we learn yet another cool Kong move.
A
Gee
leap.
whiz, we can almost make out what's happening in the Tiny Smear slideshow this time.
Again,
Turns
barely.
out Kong can leap greater distances with a couple button presses. It works kind of like how we're used to throwing grenades in some action games.
The game displays
Except
an arc
we're
of travel
grenades.
that you can manipulate. Release buttons, Kong leaps.
Feels a bit complicated for what is essentially a slightly farther jump, but at least it works.
And hold on to that feeling. Cherish the times things actually work in Skull Island. Because if you apply even a little pressure to the tissue paper holding this experience together, you get something like this.
What the?
Kong,
And we're
headlocked
stuck.
in a wall of vines.
Great! No matter what we press, no matter how we contort the controller's joysticks, the character model is unresponsive. We're sat, stupefied.
Sorry,
and
Mama
trapped
Kong.
inside
Our
Mama
bad.
Kong.
Nice teeth. Right. Guess we need
Restart.
to reload.
When we get back into the game, it isn't
Was that a
long
lightning
before
strike?
we climb and stumble our way to another cutscene.
Ow, oh. Dragon.
Hold on. Let's see that again. Yeah, stop right there. Let's just play with the image a little bit. Cool. Look at the foot on the left.
Are you kidding me? It's floating?
Guess they positioned this beast to look bigger for the shot? More menacing?
Menacing. Dumb is more like it.
Well, looks like Papa...
Jeez, man, this game is just a lot of graphical errors. Like, literally, they could have just tested a lot of things and just been like, oops, you know? But apparently not, because, well, they just a dum-dum. I mean, jeez, look at Kong's dad here. Ay, ay, ay. Well, anyway, I had to change some settings. Back to it.
Baby Kong are in a pickle. Mama Kong watches helplessly as the beast and ape exchange blows very, very slowly.
Papa Kong down. Baby
Wait,
Kong
from a type?
inconsolable.
Tail swipe? Really? Oof.
I mean, look at that little face.
We all
Yikes.
grieve differently.
Why the grieving?
His dad's dead.
What? Nah. Well, watch that hit again.
Not even close.
See? Papa Kong. Eyes wide open, roaring just before he hits the ground. And look, no blood, no visible damage to the body.
Oh, dang.
Seriously?
Maybe Papa Kong isn't dead.
Could be taking a breather.
Think Mama Kong knows this?
The only thing Mama Kong's thinking about is tearing that lizard apart.
Unfortunately for Mama Kong, we're in control now. Our first
Gaw?
instinct? Run away. Maybe we can safely figure out the patterns of Gaw, this deadly dino boss monster.
Whoop, look, it's headed this way. It's frozen?
Stuck
Behind
on
a
the tree? Seriously? Wow.
Well, this is awkward.
No.
You suppose we should, do
Tack?
I
something?
mean, yeah, probably, right?
That could work. Nope.
So we lob rocks at it.
Wait, can you even hit it? Like, oh yeah, hit. Wow. Da, 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 da. How many rocks
We've been
does that
hurling
take?
Earth for nearly 2 minutes. It's taking forever. But at least Mama Kong will live to see another.
Oh, come on! Oh, what?
What? How did that happen? We were safe!
Yeah,
Unstoppable!
what the
Stealing
hell?
curve boulders like Mama Kong was scouted
Yeah,
for
look
the
at that.
bigs.
Like, not even
So
close.
stupid. I think I know what happened.
What?
Let's check out a replay. Okay, here. Look at Gaw's life bar. When its health reaches exactly the halfway mark,
A cutscene plays out in which you're supposed to lose.
Wow.
look, if that's a story beat you want to hit, sure, go for it. Just don't give us control over a character that can easily win the battle, and then make it seem like our character was overwhelmed by the enemy.
Gaw was overwhelmed by the shrubbery. And
Pretty
you
much.
can easily have this exact experience. Totally pulls you out of the game.
Jeez, they could have just gone with a cinematic fight or something, right?
With Mama Kong glaringly chomped to death and Papa Kong probably catching some Z's, Baby
Okay.
Kong runs for it. No doubt leaving his tuckered pops to be eaten alive by Gaw. That's the spirit.
The last survivors of the Kongs had perished against the fury of Gaw, except for a small infant.
Poor Baby Kong is inconsolable, and we don't blame him. I'd be inconsolable if I was trapped in this game as well.
He reflects on how his parents did everything they could to keep him safe.
Interesting you bring up reflecting. I think we're supposed to see some kind of mirrored image in this puddle of
Where's
water.
Kong?
It lingers pretty long before Baby Kong splashes at it.
Kong yearned for vengeance.
Baby Kong's all on his own now, trying his best to hunt down prey. Poor little guy. He's gotta bide his time until he becomes a bigger, stronger Kong.
Oh, the name of the game, Rise of Kong. I get it now. We're gonna play as a developing Kong, an adventure following an orphaned little ape maturing into the dominant force on Skull Island.
We see Gaw's roar
okay.
shake through the forest, awakening a much bigger, much stronger looking Kong.
Oh, come on!
What? Did Did we just skip through the freaking Rise part of the game titled Skull Island Rise of Kong?
Maybe. Or maybe
Apparently.
this is the important part, when he actually gets to test his merit and avenge his family?
No, that's a ripoff.
Yeah, what
Going
the
from
hell?
a baby to an adult in an instant means we missed out on a ton of Kong fundamentals. How we learned to survive, how we learned to fight, all of it avoided. We were robbed of a stealth action baby Kong fruit picking game. I won't hear otherwise.
Sorry, but this is the Kong we get. We're finally gonna play as the big guy, this guy, the gorilla we all came here to enjoy.
No offense, Mama Kong. Time
Sorry,
to see
Mama Kong.
Kong rise from the ashes of tragedy like a glorious primate phoenix.
Oh,
Gross. How do our surroundings look worse than in the tutorial? Look at this place. Kind of get why the wildlife is so angry on Skull Island. Imagine having to
Jesus.
spend every waking moment here.
maybe we should get moving. At least now we're actually playing as the title character. Let's see how Kong proper plays.
Same thing. Really?
So, how is it?
He controls like his mom. There's no difference.
Funny, you think he'd be a different kind of Kong after growing up alone in the wilds of Skull Island. But hey, what do I know?
Gotta say, as we're experiencing this new space, one thing is really sticking out to me. Look at this. The scale. It's way off.
Yeah, I
way
see what
too
you
small.
mean. Look at Kong in the 1933 film. Look at him in 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong. And
wrong
look at
one.
him in the game's own freaking cover art. He's always huge.
He
Yeah,
towers
big.
over greenery, makes waterfalls look like sink streams. Even a large dino we fought in-game multiple times seems like a helpless puppy in his hand.
Back in game, it's this. We have a Kong at home Kong. Look at him. Little
Kong at
about
home.
the height of a
Jeez.
palm tree. Sure, he's bigger than a regular gorilla, but not the towering figure I expected him to
Yeah.
be.
Well, love it or loathe it, slightly big Kong is who we've got to roam around with. Oh, speaking of roaming, I know we're on Skull Island, but where exactly on
Yeah,
Skull
which way?
Island are we? We got a map? Any kind of indication as to where we should be headed?
Right, let's have a look-see. Okay, looks like we're in a zone called the Waterfalls Valley.
Sounds pleasant.
Waterfalls Valley, okay,
What
here's
exactly
the-
are we looking at here, buddy?
Clearly the area labeled main entrance is where the level loaded. And then,
Where are we?
the Waterfalls Valley?
No,
No,
on
not
the
that,
map. It
on the
says
map.
Right there at the
Playground.
bottom, check
World
your current
Tour.
position on Skull Island. What is our actual
I
Position.
am not seeing an icon for Kong anywhere.
How are we supposed to check our position if we don't have a vague idea of where we are?
Guess we'll just have to use our surroundings.
Our surroundings. Don't get me wrong, there are locations we can pinpoint because the terrain shape or water placement are vaguely synced with the map, but most of the world is unreadable. A mishmash of samey textures that don't distinguish one area from the next.
Well, who needs a map anyway?
Us!
We
No,
do!
no, hear me out. Let's just go, man. Have faith in our instincts. Embrace our natural sense of direction. Maybe we'll stumble on the hidden beauty blossoming in Skull Island's natural habitat.
You know, maybe you're onto something. Oh, look at this
Yeah, we'll see.
wispy glow off the beaten
What
path.
is that?
What do you suppose it could be? Some kind of marvelous secret?
Well, don't just stand there. Grab it.
Wait, a baby skull?
Baby skull.
What?
That's it?
Why?
Looks like we found a collectible. Upon inspection in the menu,
Eh?
it gives us some history on Skull Island's inhabitants. Apparently, babies died here. That's what we learned. Dead babies.
Skulls on Skull Island? Sure. Yeah, that's one
Not
thing.
shocking.
It's in the name. We get it. But specifically, baby,
baby
skulls?
skull.
Calling it
Really?
Baby Skull Island would probably harm the burgeoning tourism industry.
Back into one of the more open spaces, we finally get a tutorial prompt about those strange white aerial fireworks we saw when we played as Mama Kong
Yeah, what was
earlier.
It says that those things are supposed to identify
Places of interest.
Really? Janky sky streaks are supposed to be guiding us through the world? It looks like they're barely working half the time.
Hey, seems like we're pretty close to a place of interest right now. We mosey over and trigger this.
Fight, clear the zone.
A kind of challenge mission the game calls an ascension event. We need to fight and clear the zone.
We're locked into this location by a red barrier. We cannot leave until we accomplish a task. Our mission? Take out a bunch of angry crabs. Not too hard to deal with these critters. Lay on the attack button while avoiding swipes from the bigger crabling. Straightforward. Though, gotta admit, it ended a little surprisingly.
Oh, wow. A skill point?
Right.
Huh.
Anyway, looks like we got a skill point. Let's head into our skill tree and make use of that puppy.
Oh, we got multiple ability branches here in the skills section of the menu, but it looks like we don't have enough skill points to make use of anything yet.
In fact, it looks like we're very far away from earning enough points to buy anything. The meager points we've earned from this Ascension event are anything to go by.
Wow.
Great.
There are a few wild crabs around here, but defeating enemies that are not part of an Ascension event does not appear to give us any extra skill points.
Yeah,
Or XP,
sorry,
apparently.
this may seem like a small annoyance, but this is actually a big no-no. Games
how are you
should
supposed
give
to
you
grind?
enough skill points to at least
supposed to be
do
an action
something the
platformer, not
very
an
first time they're
RPG.
required. It's how you teach players to use your dang skill tree. Don't introduce a currency we can't instantly learn how to use.
Maybe we can find more challenge missions and remember to beef up our abilities later. We push forward. We climb up and around the Krabby Battle Arena until we find another one of those shimmering walls the tutorial taught us to head bash. You need to learn the hold heavy
Wait,
attack
hold?
to destroy this debris.
Silly game. We know. You taught us with the multiple examples in the Mama Kong tutorial. Remember?
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and...
Wait, we can't do it? Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Doesn't seem to be working.
what do you mean?
I can't do the heavy attack they taught us in the last level.
What? No, that can't be right. Why would they do that? Why would they show you moves in the game's tutorial if you weren't supposed to make use of those moves immediately?
No idea, but yeah, it looks like we can't do many of the things we learned. The giant arcing leap, the ground slam, the head bash, they're all stripped away.
Wait, let's bring up the skill tree we were looking at before. Oh.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
See this?
The leap, the ground bash, the freaking headbutt, all locked away and unusable?
We need
come
to unlock
on!
specific abilities later in the game to properly explore every part of these levels.
Why is this
Wow.
an issue? Look, the concept alone isn't a problem. Other titles have been doing this for
True,
years.
like Dread.
Popular games like Metroid, Dead Cells, Hollow Knight, and some Castlevanias gate exploration with acquired abilities.
But in those games, especially in modern
Yeah,
releases, you get
get
a
'em
drip
early.
feed of new moves over the course of a campaign. The player gets to comfortably build, understand, and utilize new movesets slowly over time. It adds a satisfying feeling of progression.
Not in Skull Island. Here, you are handed
Nope.
an information bomb of abilities with Mama Kong, only to have those skills locked away without notice.
It's incredibly jarring to the player. Well, great. So the shimmering wall's basically a dead end. Let's get out of here.
Hold up. Is that another collectible off in the distance there?
Yeah, I think you're right. We should head over and snag it. Maybe this time it'll be a toddler ribcage.
Don't jinx it. Bowl
A
of
bowl
food.
of food.
Let's check it out in the collectibles menu.
Oh, there it is. Seriously?
It's a plate.
With nothing on it?
Why did we think they could
Jesus
figure out
Christ,
tableware?
game.
We can't even figure out a map location indicator. Where do we go next? We're having serious troubles figuring that out.
Because a map without identifiable player or objective icons is pretty useless.
Where are we?
And a sky-based place of interest system in a world with mountains that block said system from your line of sight?
Great.
Pretty dumb.
We keep marching in circles, doing our best to read the land. We desperately run to all logical locations, climbing around, searching everywhere, till the game decides it doesn't like us anymore.
Tongue locks up. Sort of.
We can jump, we can punch, we can evade, but Kong won't naturally move forward.
Sure, his
Seriously?
regular walking animation plays, but look.
Are you kidding me? No one tested that?
This gorilla's glued to an invisible treadmill.
We eventually realize we can use our evasive roll to kind of get around and,
Wow.
well,
Yes, this Kong life now.
Fortunately, after several minutes, a quick random snap on some vines, and mysteriously, we regain control of Kong.
Okay. What the?
Yay, we can keep playing Skull Island Rise of Kong.
After recombing the entire zone, we finally do some finicky platforming and make our way to an area we've never seen. Hooray!
Hey, this game has pickable objects, like dead logs and stalagmites. Guess I
what?
did that wrong.
Cool. What else do we get to experience in this new area?
Let's see. We got reanimated levitating crustaceans,
Texture stretched to oblivion.
a place where you can change day to night, back and forth, with a couple footsteps.
An ascension event where enemies spawn out of dead enemies over and over again.
And some of the worst pop-in we've ever seen in a video game ever.
And if all that
Yeah,
wasn't
no
enough
kidding.
to
Look how bad
monstrously
it is.
test our patience, we come to this, a shimmering floor. You remember these, right?
Of course, these are the ground sections the game taught us to break with a special move. A move we learned in Mama Kong's tutorial. A move that was locked away from us when we started playing as Kong. Guess we'll need to come back when we have enough skill points to unlock that ability and...
Oh, what?
Huh?
We can clip through the floor?
And we're stuck.
Woo! Power floor! Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
we
a new
can
one.
clip through. This looks very not good.
Yeah. Whee!
Clearly, we're not supposed to be here. Leave the anomaly behind and decide to find adventure elsewhere. We press on, deal with more ascension events, and finally collect enough skill points to make use of Kong's skill tree. Quick, buy that wall break ability they took away from us.
I would, but unfortunately,
Wait,
it looks like
branch
we're only
skills?
able to make minor adjustments to Kong's basic moveset right now.
come on.
We still don't have access to the stuff we want or need. Floor smash, wall break, still locked away.
Come on.
What do we
These
do?
would be real helpful right now. Look, we keep finding red shimmering places that require Kong smashes. Normal thwacks just won't do. Wouldn't be so bad if we could see our character on the map and drop pins for backtracking, but no,
Pretty much.
we don't get those things.
Wait, huh? Did you
How
just
about we just move on to the game's first boss?
sandworm?
Earth Gija, a giant worm that tunnels through a sandy bowl-shaped arena.
It's a plate.
We quickly identify that this noodly fellow is good at swinging his head around like a wrecking ball. We probably need to get some distance.
No problem. Kong has his ultra-handy Earth Fling projectile attack. We lock onto Mr. Worm, get ready to fling, and immediately notice something incredibly stupid.
Kong's projectile attack doesn't hit things he's locked onto. The mounds of dirt he lobs shoot off to the right of the thing you actually want to connect with. Logical.
So nix that plan, little trial and error, and we figure out that our burrowing foe creates giant boulders as he pops out of the ground.
Oh,
Boulders
the
that he
pickup
can
area.
accidentally bonk his own head into.
Doesn't take long for us to take advantage of the worm fellow's self-inflicted catnaps, and before long, he is one limp noodle.
First boss down. But no time to celebrate. Gaw screams up place of interest confetti somewhere nearby. Kong needs to hunt down that killer dino.
Oh, we got a whole 4 skill points. Nice. And looks like we unlocked
Hey,
the
look, the
primal
primal
rage
rage.
skill as well.
Guess we get Mama Kong's old moves back by defeating bosses. Good to know, but we still don't have those smashy moves we need to bash through those impassable walls.
Sometimes
Yeah.
impassable walls.
Jeez, don't remind us.
All right. Sometimes.
course.
You know, wrap in this first chunk
why the
of Skull
Primal
Island.
Rage
I feel
first?
dumbstruck
Couldn't
by
just
this
done with a wall
experience.
punch?
I mean, the things we're seeing here, man.
Yeah, real sloppy. It feels like a game patchworked together with incomplete parts. The broken mechanics and blemishes we've been exposed to are beyond what we normally see on this show. How did this come to be?
I mean, considering the year of this, you'd think they would have done this right, but ugh. I mean, this just looks bad. Like, just looking at it just hurts my eyes. Just like, does this hurt anyone else's eyes or just me? Because I feel like this shouldn't be possible. I'm just saying, this just doesn't feel right. You know? Anywho.
Right. Well, looking into Iguanabee and Skull Island Rise of Kong's
Yeah?
creation, a pre-release interview with Gaming Bolt explains that the developer approached the game with the intention of sticking to the source materials. Not only Marion
Source
C.
materials?
Cooper's original
The author
vision
or the
for King
creator,
Kong,
original?
but also newer Kong adaptations. Iguanabee teamed up with King Kong of Skull Island author and creative Joe DeVito to make that happen.
Through sketches and documents available on the Skull Island Rise of Kong website, we can see that this collaboration wasn't taken lightly. They really want to
Demo.
make this a high-end Kongli experience.
So, again,
So,
what happened?
There
Yeah.
isn't a lot of post-release information about this game's creation. The tech website The Verge did post an article that kind of
For
points
a
to
year?
answers.
According to The Verge's anonymous
crunched.
wannabe sources, an outside entity could be responsible for what we're playing. That entity, the publisher, Game Mill Entertainment.
Apparently, Iguanabee was contracted by Game Mill to produce Skull Island Rise of Kong in about a year. That's a tight schedule.
Adding to that, The Verge's sources explain that the group working on Skull Island could have been between 2 and 20 people at any time. For a game like
2
this,
for
an
20?
action platformer with huge levels
Woof.
revolving around a famous property, that is a very, very small team.
Tight schedule, small group of creatives.
Yeah,
Those constraints
recipe
alone
for
are fair
disaster.
explanations for the game's poor quality. And according to that same article, Game Mill has a history of publishing titles with other developers in the exact same way.
So, we figured we'd have a look
Lily
at some.
Car-
While Game Mill has
Oh.
helped launch many titles, some of their better-known or higher-quality releases seem to be
Battle
games
Crashers?
that were ported over from arcades.
Big Buck Hunter, Cruisin' Blast, games that likely required less tooling to port to other platforms. Heck, we've played a bit of Cruisin' Blast on Switch. It's not bad.
But when you get to games based on famous properties, built
Balance
fresh from the
Bay.
ground up, titles like this one we're playing, that's where the quality of Game Mill's releases seem to dip.
Uh-oh. Where'd he go?
They published Nerf Legends, a first-person shooter leveraging the popular toy brand. Now, we've played bad-feeling shooters before, so trust us when we say this isn't just a bad-feeling shooter. This is the only first-person shooter we've played that makes your aim jarringly snap to the ground when you reload. Look, pretty disorienting. Really throws you off when you want to get back into the action.
Game Mill also published the Nickelodeon Kart Racers series. Here's the second entry on PC. And this PC game has no video settings, no way to modify the resolution or visuals. The driving
Jeez.
feels slow, the vehicles move rigidly, and the AI players are more nuisance than challenge. Worst of all, every character is silent.
Wow. Nope.
A Mario Kart ripoff with classic Nick characters quietly puttering around poor tracks.
They even published Goosebumps the Game, a point-and-click adventure title based on the 2015 Goosebumps film. We grew up reading the books, and this does not capture the feel of that spooky kid series. It features plenty of obtuse puzzles and punishes the player for exploration. The story asks you to accept bizarre leaps in logic. At the end of the day, it's just not fun to play.
And then there's the
Bye.
Game Mill published Street Outlaws series. We played the
Street
second
Outlaws?
entry, winner takes all.
We could review this game, but I think we could save time simply by revealing the name of the developer.
What? Really?
Wait,
Who's behind the Street Outlaws games?
Team 6 Game Studios.
Team
You
6 Game
again.
Studios? The developers of Flat Out 3
Three?
Chaos and Destruction?
Them?
The
Ugh.
title we dubbed the worst
Worst
racing
racing game
on
ever.
Steam?
Yes, sir. Game Mill Entertainment must have enjoyed Team 6's work on that gem. Oh, and since we're still
That's a
on the
gem?
topic of racing games, did you know Game Mill Entertainment previously went by the name Game Mill Publishing?
Publishing?
No, I didn't. What does that
What's
have to
that
do with
mean?
racing games?
Well, Game Mill Publishing's logo appears on another infamous racing title we're both very, very familiar with. Big
No.
Rigs.
Wait, Big
No,
Rigs?
Over the road racing.
Are you kidding me? It's
And a
back?
sequel. Yeah, I think it's safe to conclude that Game Mill Entertainment
How?
cares more about the quantity of games
And
it's releasing
Ninja,
and
what-
less
wait.
about the quality.
No joke. And if we really want to drive
What?
home how a quantity over quality publisher like Game Mill Entertainment can affect the output of smaller teams like Iguanabee here, we can look at 2 more Iguanabee projects.
This is What Lies in the
Oh,
Multiverse,
Multiverse.
a puzzle platformer with charm. It has awesome sprite art, witty dialogue, and intriguing characters that keep the player engaged in the game's reality-hopping narrative. It features well-constructed levels that make use of the game's cool universe traversal mechanics. It puts a twist on traditional 2D platforming with puzzle spaces that
Okay.
are a joy to solve. And this is G.I. Joe Operation Blackout, a third-person shooter with run-and-gun combat that lacks impact. The levels are bland. It has virtually no modern shooter flair like wall hugging and cover fire. It features vehicle segments without
Ugh.
interesting set pieces and little in the way of driving freedom. The most appealing elements are the character designs and branding, which could spur spontaneous sales from fans of the series. Now, which of these titles do you think is published by Game Mill Entertainment?
G.I. Joe?
Is it G.I. Joe?
Of course it's G.I. Joe.
Look, here's what we're trying to get at. There are plenty of talented developers making all kinds of games. These creatives don't always have a say in what gets made, how it gets made, or how long they get to work on what they're making.
Right. Create a cocktail of a capable team. Toss in some extreme constraints, like time and money. Mix that sucker up, and you end up with something like, say, I don't know, Skull Island Rise of Kong.
Which we really should...
Yeesh. I kind of feel bad for Iguanabee. But, ugh, that just sucks. And also, did you notice, like, with Gamer Mills, there was Nicktoons All-Star Brawl. I'm not kidding. I saw it there. I'm not sure they did the sequel, but Jesus. So, yeah. They got some pretty big deals, and yet this happened? Gamermill was part with publishing with Big Rigs and Midnight Race Club? What? And partnered up with Team 6 with Flat Out 3. What the hell? Oh, God. Why? Sheesh. I mean, jeez, and I thought after Big Wigs they would have just got kaput. But nope, they're here with Skull Island. The hell? Just, good Lord, talk about a surprise, like, blast for the past here. Like, oh, studio tangent aside, let's just get back to the Kong.
be getting back into because we're heading into the game's second zone.
Welcome to Jungle Wetland.
Ugh.
Kong out.
Yeah, I'm out.
Oh, hey, you
wait,
don't.
Wait for me!
Get out of this.
Bye-bye!
I don't blame 'em. This place is depressing.
They stripped away the sun, muted all the color, and added spooky fog in the background.
I think you're seeing the game's awful draw distance.
Pretty much.
Huh.
The map in
like
Jungle
it's just
Wetland
got
is
juke.
still not displaying where we are with any kind of positional indicator. We can assume we're here right now, the main entrance.
Exploring Jungle Wetland, we get a pretty familiar experience. We fight enemies, we stumble into wispy golden collectibles, and we trigger more ascension events.
Here, we're supposed to take out all enemy nests in the area. Not too tough.
Despite the lack of challenge, this ascension event did teach us a couple things. For example, enemies don't attack Kong while he hangs on vines.
Huh.
The other neat thing we learned,
Okay.
some critter attacks have the ability to fling a multi-ton primate across long distances in an
Really?
instant.
Well, what the?
Despite
Huh?
these findings, there aren't a lot of meaningful changes in Jungle Wetland that affect gameplay. Pretty disappointing.
There are purpley pools of bubbly goo that we've never seen before. We figured these were some kind of hazard. Nope, they're in no way detrimental to our character.
Really,
Seriously?
most of
No
what Jungle
poison pits?
Wetland switches up boils down to its gloomy visual overhaul.
Here, we take out an enemy crab that somehow continues to pursue Kong.
Even that
I
to
mean,
death.
that's new. Persistent little guy. Up, he's gone.
Over
Yay.
here, it looks like the swamp is home to magically stretching textures as well.
Ugh.
But do the game a favor, don't look around too much. You might notice things like this. A swamp tree asset that appears to be improperly placed.
Damn it again. And now Kong's in it. Good job, buddy.
Without too much hassle, we were able to march through most of the place and head right into the game's second boss encounter.
I know, a giant crab.
This crabby fellow is King Dengiz. He wastes no time
Dengiz.
picking up chunks of earth and hucking them at us. Hey, that's our move!
Carefully
Hey.
working our way forward, we try to get in nice and close to see if we can crack this fella's shell. No good.
We end up dodging his boulder chucks until he gets bored and leaves himself wide open, at which point we lob our own projectiles at his face.
It's a slow fight. It ends up feeling less like an epic battle between two enraged monsters and more like kids half-heartedly exchanging snowballs at recess.
After a while, we bash away the last bits of Dangiz's health.
He's done for. Kong springs into action.
Jeez.
King King Dangus is no more. Kong caresses a crabby mandible, which I guess reminds him of his parents or something, because he immediately takes a nap and dreams of family.
It's a quick cutscene depicting Kong's father saving the family from a dinosaur attack. Kong remembers it like it was yesterday. Papa Kong's bravery, Mama Kong's warm embrace, the textures hesitating to load. Kong awakens. With King Dingus mashed, Kong gets another handful of skill points and unlocks another of the special abilities
Heavy
we learned
attack
as
jump.
Mama Kong.
Oh, the head-
head bash. Finally!
Woohoo!
At last, we can get through the shimmering red walls that barred us from experiencing previous areas in the game.
Right, let's open up the map and work our way back to the other map and...
Hey, any idea where we are?
No.
Any
Maybe
clue where
Dingus,
those
right?
walls were from before?
No. We head to the next zone.
Kong enters a lush, new jungle area.
Without moving his legs. Pretty impressive.
What's that he sees from the corner of his eye? A dino butt.
Come
We're
here.
on Gau's trail.
Or probably not.
And we've entered the dark
dark
jungle.
A place pleasantly brighter than the last area.
All right, Skull Island. What have you got for us this time?
Well, let's just go ahead and get a lay of the land.
A picture of cooked linguine would be more helpful.
Dozens of pretty trails to take in here. Lots of cool rock formations, healthy plant life, and great mountains to visit
Lost in
frequently.
this section of the
There's space
game for
to
a long
explore
time.
And explore, and explore, and explore, and explore, as long as you'd like, and explore.
The Dark Jungle features more ascension events. The deadly challenge is meant to push Kong's battle prowess to the limit.
I beat this one by tapping a single button in about 9 seconds.
Done.
To the limit!
The Dark Jungle introduces some new enemies, like this big dinosaur fella here.
We've also got the smaller velociraptor types that attack with a barrage of claw swipes.
That is, when they feel like moving. We found these two locked up doing absolutely nothing.
Oi! Acknowledge me!
What's going on here? Stage fright?
Oh, hey, it's okay, little guy. Listen, Kong here for you. Kong get anxiety too.
Deeper into the zone, we find a collectible.
What do you got this time? The
What's that over
dark
there? That barely noticeable green glow.
ball? Call it.
What?
Why is the game loading? What the heck is happening?
We're
Wait.
back in the first
what?
section of the game.
What?
Wait, what?
The game randomly teleports you to other parts of the world? Map, now!
Check.
Oh, great. Right. We don't even know where we are in the first section of the game because the map doesn't show us. Who thought any of this was a good idea?
So the choices are keep moving forward here, risk getting lost and having to rework our way through hours of game, or we try turning back to the dark jungle right now?
It's not even a choice. In this game, there is no way we're trekking through every area again. Not when we're essentially finding our way through the world blind.
Back in the dark jungle, we keep searching for areas we haven't visited, praying that we'll stumble into the boss fight.
We don't find the boss, but boy, do we stumble.
Oh God, no!
Oh my god.
Kong?
Calm.
There
Oh,
he
there.
is.
Hello.
I'm back into the game?
Oh no.
Help me. Freedom.
Oh,
What the?
that's not good.
On the right side,
Who
we've
the hell?
got a killer view of the game's skybox.
Kong? He's in eternal glitch limbo. I guess we'll have to reload.
It isn't
Okay.
long before we feel like we're making
What is
headway towards the dark jungle's exit.
Look, one of those shimmering walls. Oh, we can finally do the headbutt smash move we've been complaining about forever.
Yeah. What? There we go. Okay.
Words can't properly describe how much I want this to end.
We
Don't we
hightail
all?
it, hauling past groups of enemies. The game's frame rate pleads with us to stop.
The Switch is struggling to keep the game playable, but it feels like we're almost at the end of the dark jungle. We've never seen this section before. We gotta push on.
Hold it together, Switch. Hold.
Hold. Don't.
Bam. Cutscene.
Kong is being hunted by something sneaky, something in the bushes.
The game reveals not one, but 3 bosses.
With the power to clip through solid matter.
I think that's just a clipping error.
Yep.
Oh. Anyway, we're up against the Death Runners Council, 3 of Gaw's powerful servants.
At least we think they're supposed to be powerful. They're intimidating in the cutscene, sure, but in battle, most of the council doesn't seem interested in attacking much.
We deal with a lot of smaller dinos as the council rotates in and out of battle. Look at them there, waiting to attack. Polite.
We whittle down the council, taking care of extra little critters
Alpha,
thrown into the
Beta,
fray.
and Omega.
It may be the
Maybe
least
these
challenging
guys.
boss fight we've had besides, well,
Yeah.
We thwack the last Death Runner and have another cutscene.
Hi, Alpha.
Kong is victorious. Not prey, but the mightiest predator.
an ape so shatteringly imposing that he causes glaring visual issues.
But wait, look out, Kong! One
It's
member of the
Kong!
council yet lives.
He screeches, rousing painful memories of Gaw.
Memories? Huh. Looks more like a photo to me. A photo floating in midair?
I guess Kong bought a print of the day his parents were brutally murdered.
Wow.
Never mind. Kong smash!
The Death Runner Council is finished. Kong
We got the
unlocks
leap.
another new old ability.
We can now perform the leap move Mama Kong pulled off in the tutorial.
Great. I say we leap the heck out of here.
The next zone loads briefly with Kong stuck in level architecture.
The Great Caverns.
Looking good!
This is the Great Caverns, a network of caves with charming names like Dead Abyss, the Dire Pass, Caverns of Decay, and the Unwelcoming Chasm.
Skull Island's
Really?
cartographer was a real glass half empty kind of guy, huh?
These caves are primarily infested with one kind of enemy.
Spiders.
Spiders! Yeah, they're creepy. Some even have opposable thumbs, but no worries. The arachnids in the Great Caverns aren't much of a threat. They're about as intelligent as the physics in this game.
It's
Not
in
seeing
the air.
many interesting things in this dark space. You deal with groups of the same 8-legged foes and work through near identical tunnels and chasms repeatedly.
Every once in a while, you may feel the need to veer off course in search of things like hidden items.
Well, we got this.
Caution, be careful. This looks like a path ripe for secret goodies.
Then, at this exact moment,
Our character locks up. We're somehow wedged in a portion of the world that is barely touching Kong's model. We can't move or interact in any way. Time to reload a save.
Again.
speaking of things breaking, a lot of broken interactions here, like enemies stuck in walls.
You live.
And enemies stuck in air?
And this spider that seems to be all about vigorously shaking its booty.
Cheeky booty. Lord, I got nothing
You
else
can
to say.
find another locked
Oh,
Apatosaurus
pretty.
that seems lost in thought.
Look, Kong, no, the game, crap. But we get through this.
Sure, we get
Don't worry.
through lots
You'll
of
get to
things
live.
in Skull Island
Save the
Rise of
game.
Kong. Literally.
Oh.
Is this game almost over?
Hang in
Stop.
there, buddy, because the level culminates in a boss fight with, well, you probably guessed it, a giant spider.
Spider.
This is Queen Oyak, a creature that
Oyak?
flings webbing and spawns groups of enemies to dogpile on Kong.
The tactic to take her down isn't immediately apparent. We spend a lot of time looking for her and beating down the swarm she spawns, seeing no way to hurt her.
You see, Queen Oyak is inaccessible to do direct battle with. She sticks to slinking around her web way above Kong's head. She mostly stops to spawn enemies or to launch her annoyingly sticky web balls.
Turns out you need to use Kong's rock toss attack to knock her down for a few precious seconds of vulnerability. Not an easy feat. You need to avoid projectiles, kill groups of spawns, and do your best to utilize Kong's terrible throwing mechanic.
It is a very long time before we see a decent amount of success clipping down Oyak's health bar. But eventually, we're close to wrapping this trial of an encounter. We finally knock her down for the umpteenth time, go in for the last powerful Kong cracks, and...
What?
Oh, come
The
on!
game crashed?
Oh, no, not now, not when we're basically finished. That can't possibly mean
Again?
we have to do the Oyak boss fight all over again.
Just as annoying the second time, folks.
Ah.
Cumbersome pain that still takes far too long, but we can do it.
Come on, please don't crash again. Come on.
That's it. Just a couple more
Come on,
monkey
come on!
punches. Here we go.
Oh, come on!
Game is mocking us!
No kidding. What's going
On
on
here?
We're stuck in a cycle of Kong and Spider kill and crash.
No, I refuse to believe it. We can't let ourselves be beat by a piece of software. One more time.
Fine. All right. Here it is. Let's go.
Get it!
We fought through waves of baddies and spider spit.
Are we doing something wrong?
Oyak is tenderized. She's circling the pain drain. And...
Oh, now you'll work.
Yes.
Finally.
The Queen of Crashes is no more.
with that, we've gained
Okay,
another
finally.
special ability that was
The
locked
ground
away
pound and
long
slam.
ago.
Kong's Ground Pound and Slam, our last unlockable move. The offensive tool we need to get through shimmering red floors. When we don't just clip right through them.
Right, and if we have all the Kongster's cool moves at our disposal, I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume the next section of this game is probably the last. Though I really think Kong's skill set should extend beyond what his mama had. I mean, it didn't exactly help her tackle Da in the first place.
Kong enters the new locale, treating monstrous screams with something in the distance. The ferocious Ga is somewhere close by.
Welcome to Skull Island Mountain Wasteland, a location plastered with rocky, desolate terrain.
In its mountains, cliffs, and compact deserts, we fight the assortment of enemies that have been introduced throughout the game's campaign.
And is it just
surprised.
me? Or does this place feel a lot more empty than the other zones we've been through?
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
The
no
general
kidding. There's
openness
barely
of
anything
these
here.
rocky spaces and the dialed-back greenery really make this place feel hollow.
Speaking of hollow, you can find caves in the area. This one features an entrance with a rare variant of the invisible wall problem we spoke about earlier. We call this the invisible pole.
You can get around it on either side, sure, but run dead center into the cave's entrance and
Nope.
not getting through there.
Seriously? Just a
Oh,
pole?
but I know we'll be able to get through here. The infamous shimmering red floors make another appearance. Let's see if we clip through this one too.
Nope.
Consistency. The bare minimum we expect from your gameplay elements.
Consistency.
Didn't even give us that, huh?
Nope. Oh.
I mean, I guess there's consistency in that this zone is feeling about as put together as any other location in the game to this point. We find ourselves
And
locking
suck
up,
again.
getting weird slowdown patches, and being
Jesus.
surrounded by interesting visual choices.
There's only one way to wrap this area, though, and that's with a deadly final confrontation.
Please tell me we're done here. There's Gaw.
Gah, the monster that has haunted Kong's every moment. The twisted snarl, the death-filled gaze, the feet that still don't touch the ground.
A waking nightmare. But our boy Kong is ready.
We start the fiercest battle of Kong's life. Kong has to contend with Gah's staggering screeches and deadly talons.
Ouch! We'll have to stay away until we figure out a way to take this Crimson Hellbeast down.
Think, Kong, think! You've come all this way, surmounted impossible trials. You've regained all the powerful ape knowledge Mama Kong instilled in you. Or us? I don't really know how that goes. But anyway...
Wait. Shh! Mama Kong? Mama Kong.
What's up,
Mama Kong? That's it!
What?
What Mama Kong taught us! Think about that first battle with Ga. The only right way to take down this relentless fiend.
You
Tree.
mean
We let Ga break itself.
He's stuck! Get it!
Wow, that didn't take long.
honestly weirdly easy. God just stopped gawing.
Stop going, Kong!
Huh. So, what do we do now?
We make like a middling caveman platformer from the 90s that isn't bonk.
Chuck Rock?
I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah! Ha! Yeah! Yeah! This is my mama! And
Is for
oh!
Papa Kong.
He's probably still asleep. Here's mama!
Is for Mama Kong.
And this? This is for making us chase you through every inch of this jive duty butt game.
Yes!
Woo, we murdered. Kong
Yay!
celebrates his glorious victory as the king of beasts, King Kong.
Wow, this adventure sure was something. A game. we played.
And on the Nintendo Switch, which, now that we've seen its performance on that hybrid device, kind of begs
Unless
the
you guys
question,
forgot
what's Skull Island Rise of Kong like on other platforms?
Well,
it
question
worse?
no longer, friends. We hate ourselves.
Translation,
went again?
played it again.
This time on PC. How does it compare?
Well, getting right into a comparison of the title screen on both platforms, we can see things are much sharper on
Yeah?
PC. No big surprise, we are working with more powerful hardware now. Despite the fidelity top-up, this PC version is running at a 1080p resolution, with no means to bump it up to 4K. Pretty archaic
Seriously?
for a PC release in 2023.
Time to dive into the game world. Now, while we're still seeing far clearer visuals in this version, we gotta call it like it is. The textures are still pretty
Yeah.
ugly. Mama Kong specifically still has this
Sorry, Mama.
weird carved Play-Doh look to her.
Out in the open areas, the world carries more detail with a way better draw distance. The water looks better, and it doesn't have the strange broken bar artifact problem we kept seeing on
True.
Switch.
The additional hardware powering this version of Skull Island undeniably benefits how the game world is represented. Oh, while we're talking about our surroundings,
Yeah?
we gotta bring up the map. Tell me it's been upgraded.
No,
Nuts.
just as unreadable as ever. Still nothing telling us where to go, and still no positional icon showing us where we are among this zigzag mess.
Guess we should have expected as much.
And don't expect any polish to the general gameplay experience either.
For example, we've got the same janky head bob animation when we slightly tilt our joystick forward.
We've still got immense open spaces with massive invisible walls.
Still have enemies that refuse to engage us in battle.
And there's still
mean,
an
it's
alarming
slightly
lack
better,
of
I'll
care
give it
given
that.
to general detail everywhere.
Oof.
When we get to the point that we notice Kong's boulder throw still doesn't hit locked on targets,
Really?
we give up hope that this is a significantly altered version of the game.
Beyond PC hardware making this game look and run slightly better, the only
Yeah,
real
just
change
slightly.
we notice in the tutorial is a scene after the first Gaw confrontation.
Remember when Baby Kong ran away and the camera lingered on a puddle of water way
see it
too
this
long
time?
on Switch? Well, here's the same scene on PC.
Oh. There it is. Yep.
Look, a reflection!
Yeah, easier.
Sure, it's got all the fidelity of a Rorschach test, but at least it adds context. Baby Kong's peering into himself. We get it now.
After this tiny revelation and seeing mostly minor adjustments to the pains we experienced on Switch, we put a pause on Reliving Skull Island on PC. That is, until about 2 days later when we clock back in and we're met with this.
What the?
A brand new start screen. Now,
Huh.
did Iguanabe do it? Does this mean...
Yup, they've pushed an update for Skull Island Rise of Kong on PC. The crazy part,
Seriously?
there seems to be no mention of this update from any outlet anywhere,
Really?
including Iguanabe's official media accounts.
Oh, what?
How?
Crazy! So they finally tweaked the game to be in a more playable state.
Or
We'll see.
so we thought.
Playing again, we do
Still?
see changes, like set dressing assets added in different locations. Plus, those little broken video sequences and the pop-ups telling you how to perform a move, well, they're running at a proper frame rate now.
We even noticed
And
tweaks in cutscenes. Remember the Baby Kong reflection
Yeah?
we were just talking about?
Oh.
It's been altered again.
Now, would a real reflection only show Baby Kong's character model and not the world around him? No
Oops.
sky, no stars, no clouds?
No moon?
Probably not, but there's no denying this is different.
And we have to mention the most significant tweak of all, something we've been begging to change. When you pause the game and bring up the map screen, you get this.
A reworked
There
map
it
menu.
is.
We now have color-coded sections,
Now
new
we can
markers,
see it.
and yes,
There we are.
They finally placed a positional icon to track Kong on
Finally.
the map.
Finally, the mega upgrade we needed. Or it seemed to be, until we tested it a little further in the game.
Yeah, we're seeing discrepancies like this. An open and traversable path in game. Shows here there should be a wall
wall
in
there.
front of us.
Whoops.
Let's move forward a little bit and check the map again. Oh look, Kong's broken reality. He's smack dab in the middle of nothing.
In other spaces, we
They cut the
find
map that
mountains
part.
gating off traversal.
Oops.
When we head to the map, there are no boundaries anywhere near our icon. This should be open space. Why is our map lying to us?
Look, we got an update, and it's nice to see work put into a game that clearly needs it. But we're seeing changes that range from minor visual adjustments to monkey's paw-style borked upgrades. It's nowhere near enough to make the game enjoyable.
As of this video, the
is
moment-to-moment gameplay is still daunting and dishearteningly janky. It's a game still brimming with clueless and broken enemy AI, still ripe with questionable designs, still more of a chore to play than any action-adventure game has any right to be.
How are you doing that?
And that's in the game's shiniest updated PC release. Back in Nintendo Switch land, weeks
No,
later, no update has been pushed to the system. And honestly,
Seriously?
we're kind of giving up hope that one will come out.
Meaning the Switch version may forever be the worst iteration of a game that, even in its very best state, is still terrible to play.
Skull Island, Rise of Kong. Any way you play it, this ain't the eighth wonder of
Yeah.
the world. It's a game fraught with glaring development issues, a title as appealing as Empire State Building Roadkill, a mammoth
Just
video
something
game
that makes your
nosedive
eyes
for one of
bleed, to be
fiction's
honest.
greatest characters.
Well, Adam, it was the developer's ambitions in the end that got him.
Oh no, it wasn't their ambitions. It was publisher killed the beast.
It's just bad.
Yep. Not surprised that happened. But, jeez. You gotta feel bad, you know? God dang. Well, there's Skull Island for ya. And honestly, glad I didn't play, because, jeez, that looks bad. Anyway, till next time, adios.